What did my name, my title, slogan used to go by? Oh man, and it was catchy to people. Right now I can't think of it. Oh well, it's not about just so much as getting older. I think it's not so much about getting older that is tiresome. I mean, or the thing that we need to be down about. Like it's not a bad thing to look forward to. It's about how we need to build. Most of us don't have a consistent habit that we form of life where just constantly just go with the flow. And I feel like that routine really has a big part in keeping your head in the game. And it's like I gotta keep my flow just going. I can't wait. And when my mind is on a idea, a topic, a frame, it's like I just gotta just talk about it at that moment. So I know there's nobody in here right now, and that's okay. Because I know it's a Monday morning. Good day, good day. It's the start of a new day. I understand that very much so. I very much so understand it. And I got to make sure I keep my eyes on the damn gas tank gauge. Don't get too far out. I want to get closer to a price that, being out in a bigger city, they'll just have this little jump of a wage on the gauge, but it's just up there anyway, so it just is what it is at this point. Slide City, got all kind of hoes and girls look pretty. I'll do whatever you want. What would I do if I didn't love you? What would I do if I didn't love you? Oh, the things I would do is like, and that's what it is. Let's say when you sitting up there and you just being faithful to somebody and you're just like, whoo, the things I would do if I didn't love you. So let me just go on and just slouch down, get to know you, because I'm way more than about just trying to get in your panties. Speaking of getting in panties, there's a young lady right now where her panties are not covering everything. Interesting. But yeah, so hey, there's one or two or three or four or five. What's up? What it do? Good morning, good day. No good morning. We're gonna stop morning. It's the start of another day, whenever your day starts. Of and their days or theirs day, they like, here you go. To start the day, I can't. If I was prepared to know that there's gonna be half naked girls walking down the street, I'd have the camera so you can see what I see. We got 122 miles to go. I may just have one of y'all chilling with me still on the way. Because like I said, we about to, what did I say, talking about do's and don'ts. And the do's, it was spelled D-U-E-S, and that was not intentional. But once I saw it, I was like, hey, yeah, let's keep that there. Do's and don'ts. I'm going to start off with, I had a friend of mine say, hey, I knew a lady with a cat. She had a boy cat, and she let another lady bring her boy cat over. And her male cat then slapped her upside the face a few times and scratched her face up. And now she's got a bill to pay. And she was like, hey, like, why is that? So, of course, I'm not saying the expert. We're just kind of talking, and I gave my speculation. But I broke it down as basically it's a boy cat. And he's like, you just brought in another boy cat in here? What's up with that? He's like, it's not even a girl that I can tussle around with to try to get at her. You brought a boy. So another dude who's gonna come up in here and talking about, oh, this is gonna be my territory now, cause I'm over here, and they gonna be flexing. So he's probably like, for what his main reason could be, I'm mad at you for making me have to come fight some boy or hiss it, whatever, or I'm mad at you, but that's just in my analogy. A boy would not like that. Or maybe it was even two girls. Now, how I gave the scenario is different, but DJ boy is like, what is the question mark, bro? I don't understand. But question. Yes, if you got one, speak it. Don't ask. That's already one question, I feel. And that's how I felt about that. Now, when I think about just going into like just life and morals, it's like, hell no, it wasn't right for that cat to do that. And that's why I kind of agree in a sense with declawing your animal, especially if it's going to be a house cat, or that you make sure that you keep those nails trimmed. It's like having a dog is a constant. A baby that's growing into an adult, but will always be like a baby. And if you're not ready to do that, well, maybe getting a pet was just not for you. At least not a four-legged pet. But even if you got a freaking goldfish, it wouldn't be cool for you, So shoot, it's Monday, 3:30 on my time of the world. Could be 3 p.m. on your time of the world, or 6:30 or 4 or 5:30. But nonetheless, the clock is just gonna be ticking, whether we doing it or not, trying to attempt it. I said, I said, because I didn't know what you. But I want my day. You have it. I said, this is right. See, you just up there. It's because it's not even about what you say. Okay, that's what's up. See, that was the person. That's like a funny. Now I'm weak off of your name right now. I'm gonna have to make sure that I see who the heck. That's why the thing is about when people that interact with you. But my whole thing was about, nonetheless, if your animal attacks you, the owner, what might be the motivation behind it? That's my main of my idea. But it is like, like moving on. Because it's like, hey, if you like just want to, that's not even nothing to, I don't know. Don't sub to me. I don't want your sub. If anything, the main thing is like friends, families, people you're close to. It's like those are actually the ones you don't want to see and follow you, because there's going to be days when I'm going to want to vent about some stuff. And so, and I'm glad that, like she brought this out of me, whoever they know. Now, if you got a friend, right, and you tell your friend, like, hey, because I ain't seen you in a while. I don't know if I really want to see you, but heck yeah, I'm coming out that way anyway. What, you going out tonight? Well, shoot, I'll meet you up at the club. Now, with all that said, that part just being said, I say this. I had at a moment felt like, hey, you know what? They might have been going out on a blind date that night. I wanted to hit my friend up and say, hey, you know what? It would feel weird me showing up. Like, please just like say that, because it's all good. I really kind of don't even want to, go out. Especially like me, I'm not chasing. I'm not trying to be chased. All the whatever the things, want to go out dancing because my body hurts anyway. So I'm not really even wanting to really be eager to go out, because I'm like, because I could. I don't need to go like 150 miles out, you know what I'm saying? But, so this friend, and we're going to use that friend loosely, says, okay, well, hey, I want to make sure I'm in there before it's getting free time. All right, then, all right. I'm ad-libbing the story, just in case you're listening. Now, the funny thing is, I'm gonna like backtrack on that a bit. The funny thing is, the friend has just told me a scenario of acquaintance or dear friend of theirs, where they have say, hey, I'm going, and then they would hit each other back. and then they didn't hear back from the other person for 12 hours. Well, the same scenario they did. Hey, yeah, I want to be ready. It's like 8:30, 9 o'clock when I last talked to them. Don't talk again till 12 o'clock. And in my mind, the same thing. So you had never got up. You know, you want to like dwell into it, but it's at the same time, it's like, you know what, stuff happens. And once you have that friend where you're like, I'm not surprised your ass did that, because once you know somebody that they, be doing skeptical, weird, or just some whatever stuff and just won't say it, and that's where you be like, I thought we was grown. It's like, yeah, I am grown. I'm not tripping. But since I brought it up, because I was really just wanting to let it go, and at least not to say it out loud to them, but yeah, say it out loud to my audience, because this is things that happen with friendships, just weird ass crazy shit where you're just like, what the heck, dude? Like, you could have, when you hit me up, then you hit me up just like, not really. It's like some bogus ass, hey, yeah, last night, sorry, I told you about the wrong club. Like, what? And so you just like kicked it all night. You never used your phone. You didn't even say, just all these things where it's like, it's all good though. I see what level of friendship or priority I am. It's all freaking good, bro. Because I would still show you some love. Because I'm who I am, but I'm not going to be who I be no more. But I am who I am. I'm hella cool. I got whatever, but now I am like, okay, I'm not going to take no shit to the limits to where I'm going to like make and break my day and my feelings. It's like, hey, if I feel like it, but now I'm not going to make you so much of a priority, because that's right, we don't kick it like that no more. You damn sure done show me I ain't no priority. I might get access of stuff of a privilege, but my priority level, and it's like, it's all good, it's all good, and that's okay, because we got different moments of life with everybody and everything, and it's not about somebody maturing and being whatever that you want them to talk to you a certain way. It's about, to me, you, and you being the person receiving, you mature about how you really start reacting to some things. I'm not perfect on everything. I know, like, I was just playing a game and ending it, and however, my mind just jumped to conclusions before happening, just because for a hot moment I wasn't pointed out as accused of cheating, but it was like, hey, is there a cheat moment that you did something wrong moment? Because now you didn't, like, reneged yourself. But it was, once it was like, no, hey, blah blah blah, you drinking too much, stop drinking, kind of thing, more so. But it was like, I just had my mind like, okay, it's gonna be played out fair and square. However the cards may roll, they'll fall, and then just all kind of mistakes happening, which it's like, it just like is what it is, in some senses. But like I said, I get about, it's like kind of growing away and evolving and picking up when it comes to like matters of the heart of life, from dealing with friends, family, your kids, if you have any, whatever, close brothers, sisters, just so much. But anyway, to have more to what I said, do's and don'ts. Yeah, don't. When I think of anything, yeah, don't. Don't say something to somebody that you really don't mean. Those people who like start off saying, well, I ain't even gonna lie. There's a lot of people that they just start off lying. It's like, stop doing that. I told my young little cousin today, what is he, like 9 or 10? He playing like throwing model airplanes around in the house, and he threw one and hit me. And he ran up, and his grandma, she was like, hey, come back here and say I'm sorry. But I was like, no, come here. And I told him, like, first of all, dude, you're not sorry. You're not a sorry person. Like, you don't, because sorry means you're not going to do something ever again. And I got that from the friend that waited 14 hours before they hit me up about us going out to the club, or me meeting up just to be at the club with them, So, and they taught me that's a very valuable thing, and it makes a lot of sense. And and I got to talk to my young little cousin, and I loved that. And he heard me out, and who knows, may I have said something, because it's Lola, his grandmother, she was right there, so she could have been like, oh no, that was too far. She didn't feel like I said anything wrong. And that's something that it's a way of apologizing, and having a sincere apology, even if the apology is just like, hey, you never heard that person outright say, hey, I really want to talk about that, or just mention that day. I know I was a jerk. We don't gotta talk about it, because you know what happened, I know what happened, and we don't need to go down and bring up old stanky stuff that happened, because it could possibly not go well. So it brings up a funny thing about how I had a conversation recently with a cousin that, like, we literally probably haven't played and been around each other for 40 years. But we had, as adults, a 40-year gap, but to talk about life, and us both have opinions about topics that we brought up. And it was so, like, to be in a moment where I could speak my piece, like, hey, I don't like you talking to me like that. And she might be like, well, I don't like you. But it wasn't ever to an aggressive point to where a person felt like, hey, this is seeming like it's about to get real hostile. Like, we didn't, call each other out of our names and just talk really negative. And I had to express that to her a lot, that I was like, I'm so used to, because in my life, the people I dated, to where if I spoke my feelings about how I didn't like something, or just like how I took it might not have meant that way, but the thing is, I would get reprimanded, or was cursed out, or maybe even just, dealing with an assaultive situation. And I'm like, it felt good to be able to somebody, and then them explain themselves, and for me, it was like, just to let it know, like, how I'm receiving this is not well. So maybe help me to understand what you really mean. Just so I'm trying to understand, am I taking this right? If I feel insulted. And then I did the same to her, and she expressed that. And I was just like, I love that, because it didn't have anything with us doing just being related. It was like just that respect and maturity level of understanding, like, hey, everybody's got different opinions about shit sometimes, I mean, that's what really kind of gets the way of life, our neighborhood, the world, cars in general, all working, and ideas, coming together by people having a different way of seeing things. And it's okay, especially if, like, nobody is, like, threatening anyone. It's just like, hey, I wanted our son to play football, you wanted the son to play basketball, but he wants to play the piano. It's like one of those things. Some things you may know what's really best, and then it's also allowing someone to open up about what it is they may or may not want, I feel, at times. What'd you say? Oh, I heard you saying something. What'd you say? You crashed. Let me look at this real quick here. And you got badly hurt. I crashed my electric scooter yesterday, and I got badly. Oh no. Oh no, Megan Harmon. Sorry to hear that. But your hands something's working. At least, like, you're a little bit better today. But hey, you know what? You might have got an injury, but look, you able to do this. You can able to chit chat or something for a second. You could have took away your whole everything. Somebody could have crashed seriously into you, a diesel. I'm like, oh shoot, might not be writing for yourself right now. I happened to see a program that, I got to get the name of it again, but it was about, like, when your parents get elderly, and let's say if your parent happens to be living alone and they hurt themselves, and you as a child wasn't around because you was off on vacation, and then when you do find out now your dad is in a home being taken care of because nobody could get in touch with you, and then they come to take in your rights. And that's what it was about, where, I don't know, it wasn't necessarily a true story, but it was of how the system goes for people, of mature adults that happen to, especially if they have some assets, but even if they don't, they have some assets, and then somebody will come over and be like, well, I'm going to be their guardian. And then lo and behold, they happen to have a judge on their side. It would take you as their family member, especially if you're their child. Like, yeah, it's not necessarily go through hoops, but it's about being persistent and getting back in control of the care of your parent. Irregardless, it's like, no, nobody wants you to take advantage if they have assets and don't take care of them. But you for sure don't want a stranger who will just put them in neglect and put them in a home where their life could be quickly shortened because of a lot of things. And then also, like, they take over their assets, and then that person who has no interest of any blood relation, they're getting 33% of whatever your parent had. And that was a pretty deep movie. I'm just giving like a quick little breakdown of it, but do's and don'ts, DUES, is like, we're due ourselves. We need to pay, dues to ourselves, and really just a set limit of dues. And so where some people might be like, well, shoot, if I just put a certain percentage of a kitty just to wait to go out, I won't go out but like once every 6 weeks. Okay. Especially when it involves spending money. Once you find yourself realizing, like, hey, I spent $150 on drinks, not just for me, but I start buying stuff and then going out to eat just when you go out every Friday night. And when you look at it like that, then you're like, wait a minute, I'm spending like $600 miscellaneous dollars, where a decent amount could have been put up towards other things. I myself need to do this structure, but it's just something that I've learned about now. Some things just I do not do, but it's not that I just suggested, it's suggested a lot, and I just happen to agree as I get older, because that's just one thing we just can't. It doesn't matter if I'm 50 and I look 40 to somebody, I'm still not that young, even though overall I can see that I'm gonna be taking care of myself. I feel, other than random acts of life can happen, and you're just like, oh no, may that not happen. Some incident where you can't. But if I can use my body parts and I'm just going off of my will, like I am now, then, excuse me, it's like, you think about like housing and just a lot of things that now I can see. I won't say like one took it for granted, but didn't really accept the reality of things, And that's where, so here's the funny thing of do's and don'ts. You don't get offended when somebody doesn't play a script in your book of life's possibilities that could happen. So meaning, I was with a relative today, and they said something to where I was like, well, hey, can I put you down as an emergency contact, And they was like, of course. But however they went. Now, of course, in the event that nobody else was there to take care of you, like your kid or something, then for sure, as we go down the family list. And I was like, I just love that, how he was like, I would help you out if, something happened, you need somebody to help take care of you, but I'm not really trying to, because I done did that. I don't want to do it no more. And I just love, like, but that's what you want. It's like, nothing, there's going to be a lot of things that somebody's going to say, like, you didn't like, I don't like the way you said that, But, like, I feel like, tell that person that. I heard you, but now you ain't got to be so damn smart at tone of saying it. Because I know like a associate friend of mine that I haven't seen in a while, and I know a couple of things I said where I felt like that could probably be taken. I know she felt like that was a smart tone, but I wasn't. I was being, but I wasn't. I was just kind of being direct about, hey, you just remember I just told you that yesterday. What you mean about. And that's my biggest thing I got to work on. You have to work down on that, or you might find yourself where saying to somebody, hey, we just talked about that. I had a cousin, the same thing. I'm like, the text had boldly said, but she was like, and I could get it. All I saw was S and thought it was Saturday. But that's right, the Sunday. I get it. I saw the message, but I still wrote it down. I just wrote it down as Saturday for whatever reason. And it makes me be like, that's just wild. And then, especially when it's like, on Saturday, we coulda, woulda, shoulda, man. I would have loved that. I'm like, seeing how things and how my plans just worked out, I'm like, it would have been perfect for me to have just came up here Saturday. Because, like, that's my thing. Like, when stuff happens, I can just find myself, my feelings are hurt. That like something doesn't happen where my whole thing is where I feel like I deserve to be communicated with. If I make plans, because I can do that, make plans for something and then like change my mind. And it was something I wanted to really do. But then an hour before it'd be like, you know what? I don't want to go. I've had many a nights like of saying like going out and got ready and then just be like, or I done went to the club. It's like I went to that club last night, going back to the beginning, and I was there like almost an hour before the minimum rate, which we'll just call it free. It's not free, but it's the lowest to where, to get in. And I had an outfit to change into, and I changed right there in the parking lot, waiting my friend. And because and that's when I just started hitting up like, hey, you gonna be here? Because I wanted to think I was gonna offer to like see what I'd be able to pay for you just in case you get a little late, because I know you don't want to always rush and have it covered kind of thing. But I was like, I'm gonna word it differently just to see. And I remember because at one point is I'm like, I'm not trying to be weird. Just as much as we had a moment in life go on of intimacy, I know that's never ever happening again. Not worried at all. But I do know that I had a place, and it's overall I'm like, I feel that, I don't know, I'm not going that matter. That's the wrong direction. What I want to say is where it's like I still feel like, hey, I don't want to intervene in, or you might be with somebody you don't want me to see them, or it could be somebody, whatever the case is. Like, however, it's like overall, it's the way it's still, you can still say that. Like, hey, I don't think it'd be cool or whatever tonight. It's something, and because I know, like, I wouldn't have got offended because I started feeling that way, especially because of how our conversation ended. How where you just be like, hey, I feel like they're like, oh shit, you coming, and that's where I read, like, I know that we're not best friends. We might like, it's a whole different level, because the best buddy be like, all right, hell yeah, 'cause I'm gonna have some hoes lined up. We gonna get you can at least just be talking to hoes, or people, excuse me for the kids listening to hoes. You can at least be just out there mingling. Let's have some hell yeah, that's what's up, you coming through. And I'm like, okay, because I feel like no matter what, even if you haven't been with somebody in 20 years, and you'd be like, yeah, but nonetheless, we had dated, I had feelings. I don't give a damn about, I don't care, so what about messed around, but I don't care. Just like for you, it didn't change how I felt about you. That was me coping with however I was coping with, just like you. Wasn't going out to be like you, but I found that, hey, that works for me too. But it still never changed. So with that being said, it's not necessarily easy and simple to just talk about things, about, especially if it's from the past, and just feel comfortable. Yeah, that might still hurt, but it doesn't change that I do know, like, as far as currently, life is a different way. So it's like, like I said, I feel like it's like, hey, just having the mutual respect. If you do find yourself people like, were you dating I mean, somebody that you had intimate relations with, because people don't want to call it dating or put labels on it, but still, and even though you guys have grown apart, but especially if y'all had a point where y'all were still kind of like messed around. That's what I'm saying. It's different levels. It's a difference if you mess with somebody 20 years ago and y'all ain't messed around at all in 20 years. You're gonna have a different type of could build a solid relationship compared to when's the last time y'all messed around. If you could say, well, it was less than a year ago or 2 years or whatever ago, it's still gonna be certain types of feelings to where if you want to be friends, and you don't have to have a type of respect in the sense where one somebody accept like, hey, they gonna move on, and you gotta respect that. And then there's still certain things I feel with certain conversations you gotta remember, like, hey, that, oh wait a minute, I forgot who I'm talking to, and that's not right. To especially you act like, I don't know, those people who'll be like, hey, you got over it, get over it, it happened, life's over. That everybody, just because we can all be mature, we mature in different levels. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna be in repetitive stuff. We talk about things. That's where I realized, like, to get your act together. And when I say like act, I'm talking about like a performance. Where you like be like a comedian or something. Like, you go up and you tell your tragedy, your stories, and you get people to think, you get people to squirm in their seats, and you get people to crack the F up. And I know that's why you might put like, hey, the baby shower, and it'll help you to bring back to get to that story. It's not about writing like something down verbatim, but just keeping on that of a descriptive thing so that you don't find yourself reverting back. So I'm like, I totally get that. That's what I'm gonna work that out at. Other than with my friend, love her dearly. And it's kind of horrible when you be like, man, I can't even part and say to somebody, hey, I love you. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? Motherfucker, you don't need me to tell you that. Because I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And so you love that. And it's even like in the same for like my family. Same difference. I had a cousin even today where I feel like, hope me saying that this one cousin made me feel like a sister to me, even though with her I've known, we've been through a lot more, but it's like there's a difference. Like I said, there's a difference because of just how the conversation that we might have, the intelligent levels, and that one's experience. But it's also like with that cousin, we just never had like really deep conversations, you know what I'm saying, like that made me feel where she just like didn't battle too much to me in the widths of things. We didn't just go that deep, so it's like it's all good. Well, I'm getting warm up in here now. It's like, why does the car have that, then it just gets too damn warm. Hi, we'll see, that was Megan Hartman, 95. Little youngster. Okay, and I said because I didn't know what you meant when you was talking, but I will go on with my day. You have you did not say you didn't know us, because my scenario, which said that I didn't know when I was bringing up the cats, I broke up and made up a scenario. I said, okay, now let's say you got a main bitch and broad, main female, your main squeeze at the house, but you got your side piece too, and you decide I'm bringing you over, and your main female is like, I know that you just not just bringing somebody that you messing around with in my face, and then they go to slapping you upside the head like, oh, oh hell no. That was my scenario to break down, the same as what your male cat would do if you just let another male cat, especially when they see like you openly just let this dude, so what, you trying to get rid of me or something? That's how it would react. Just like a girl who's like, oh, that's feeling threatened, like, to her baby that'll step up to your baby. Like, oh, you trying to get rid of me or something? that's what I said it like that to feel like, hey, you would understand what I meant. Now it's like, you ain't no idiot, so that's why I said it just like that, because that's the perfect example. I have not been and known to be the kind of girl who stands to be like, what the fuck is going on here? Coulda, woulda, shoulda. In my next life, I'm gonna stand a little bit more upright, cause I know that I can hold it down right. Be up in the kitchen all day and all night. Fried City, cook you up some tacos and hamburgers, all nice and pretty. You ain't ever gotta go home you ain't never going to bed feeling empty. I'll cook you up those grits, crispy bacon and some light toast, a golden pancake with the maple syrup going down, crispy edges from the butter, so sliding through your city, girl, to me you were so pretty. All right, let me stop. That's like, heck no. I know you're just not trying to. Yep, I am. I'm coming up with my ideas. I'm coming up with something. For y'all who came through, y'all gonna know what it do, who I am too. And then you subscribe. That's what's up. I appreciate it. So I feel like, hey, I'm gonna treat somebody just like I want them to treat me. I'm gonna be that friend. I'm gonna be that friend that's just like that family member that's gonna just speak up right. Sometimes you might not like it, and I'm for sure not perfect. But you gotta let somebody know they did something you don't like. That's what it boils down to. But anyway, that's why I said do's and don'ts. D-U-E-S. Pay your dues to a fuse. It's like, for me, it's like, pay the dues to myself. Get enough rest. They said that's part of having a big belly. You know what it's like to see somebody that you haven't seen in a while, because you're gonna judge them. You're gonna be like, oh my God, they've gained weight. They haven't gained weight. They look so great. They look so great, even though they've lost their spouse. They look so great because their kids are horrible, or they look horrible, and their kids are successful and they're not with them, or just whatever. It's like I said, when you see somebody like every 5-6 years, they'll go up and down. And I'm just thinking about for myself. I'm just like, I went up and down in my weight. I can feel it. I feel it on my clothes, but especially, when it's like I don't wear something for a while. But it's just crazy how, like, when weight, you'll be like, I just wore those pants last week. They didn't fit like this. It's like, what? It's a certain time. It's almost like how the bank or disability, they got like quarters. It's almost, I feel like that's how it is with your body. Every few months, if you lost weight, it'll just then drop drastically. If you've gained weight, then it'll just like wake up and poop, it's up there. And you're like, well, you unconsciously are wearing sweatpants until ready to put on some clothes. So you really can't feel where you're at also. It's just like, oh my goodness. What the heck? I'm just not for everyone, and more than likely not for your kids. So yeah, when I talk and I break down stuff, I'm going for the jugular. I'm going to give off some pretty raw examples. So I want you to really feel where I'm coming from. And sometimes my responses are things one might say, hey, that I feel like that comes from a jaded frame of mind. Oh yeah, I've definitely had things happen that were painful, and what's his name? Will act out on it through my words. It's like 4 in the morning, and it looks really good out here. Remember, like, now what the heck, how far am I gonna get? I'm like, looks like I got to Vallejo, but I need to get a lot more closer to where I'm going than just Vallejo. Biggest, brightest, baddest story you got to talk about? Can't talk about nothing else? I got lots to talk about. Let's talk about police corruption, police brutality. Let's talk about the egotistical, narcissistic individual that's in law enforcement. It takes a special kind of person. It's pretty much the same type of person who could be a funeral director, coordinator, person, yeah, that puts together, that runs that whole business. It's like, you know, a person that runs a funeral home, they gotta know how to embalm the body too. You know what I'm saying? So not being a police officer, it takes a certain kind of person to do that. You know, lying and manipulative type of person, because it's like they want to be justified in arresting almost every person that they meet up with, in my opinion. They're not really there to be like, hey, you all right? You seem like you were whatever, swerving across the road. And depending on what time of the day it is, how fast you're going, they will let you off with a warning, although they've already put you in the system. Let it be known, even if you were let go. And they'll let it be known about you, so. real dark. Got my eyes like, I want to close them. I want to close my eyes. 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 I want to close my eyes. I want to close my eyes. I wanna close my eyes. I wanna close my eyes and sleep through this night. Awake, oh bright, I wanna close my eyes. I wanna close my eyes, but I can't right now because I gotta drive. Can't keep on staying up all night, especially when you've got a 3-hour drive. Oh man, if that light is not bright, I done showed my face enough tonight. I'm like, and I look weird looking at it that way. Let's see here. What do you see? What I see? No, it cannot be. So I'll have to turn back around. Because then if you just look at that, what is that? What are you seeing right there? What the heck are you seeing? There's nothing to see. You said you'll see like little clips and pieces of what? Okay, so you're on the freeway. We see that. We don't see what you're doing, but the guy right next to you does. It's like I'm trying to be all over the place, you know. It's like people say, like, tell jokes. I ain't trying to tell like a joke, like, hey, knock knock, who goes there? Hello, ladies. When I walk past the fish market, none of that stuff. Like, you know, I'm not like seeking to have an audience to talk to, and I don't need audience interaction to keep a conversation going. I'm just like, now, okay, like what else is there to talk about? There's lots of stuff. I have went to movies, seen about the last half hour, 45 minutes of Superman. You ever sometime be driving and be feeling like, oh, wait a minute, this is going a little bit faster than then you're like, okay, chill out, Joe. You're in cruise control right now. You're good. It's those other drivers that are being weird. You're good. Yo, Cowboys, see that Lone Star? Yippee-ki-yay, mother. It's like my hair is being pulled up with my new braids, but it's not that bad. This truck is just behind me, and I'm just like, you know what, bro? I'm not gonna let you bully me. Yeah, you go around. Look, and then there's not stopping, and then another truck is ahead of them. On the highway, looking at the same thing over and over can really bum a person out. You ever have that one friend that they'll just tally up the stuff you do and then just drop a bomb on you? Yeah, and by the way, this and that, you did. I won't say like I feel like we all do it, but it's just pretty wild. Anyway, that didn't make any sense. I'm getting a little mushy. I'm ready to take a nappy. Think I need a nappy. Like, where am I at? Okay. Am I even like halfway where I want to be? Hello, my baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal. But you know, I'm glad. What I like about tonight's little intro podcasty. What's on your mind tonight? I know you're not for someone, but hey, I just might be for you. At least tonight. That's all right. Went up to the Upper Peninsula and cold there, eh? Yeah, there's only one pub. You're not gonna make it anywhere. Okay, getting a little blah. Okay, so I'm in this. What kind of? This is an old school there cab for sure. But not that old, but just old for these modern times. Alright. Bid it off. What I'm gonna bid you all adieu. May any statements not be taken personally to anyone out there that shares with the views. I may know. All right. Need to roll the window down. I guess I can do that here in the school content. Stay with me now. Stay with me. What is it, 4 now? Like about an hour. little park out in Oklahoma. It's like Well Park or something to that nature. And it was built by a man for his wife. Like he did it all. He had the cartoon characters or people like when it's time. It's like, huh. I sure do like going through these tips and turns when in the daytime. I know I'm rolling into it, but it's like I'm not at the moment, and those is just so intimidating. Keep on playing a Rihanna song in my damn head. Alright, let me get out of here because I'm really just like, I'm drained of something to say. I'm feeling the weight of the baking. What? What are you talking about? You're baking, you're driving. I know, see, I'm getting a little delirious. Oh my goodness, how far do I gotta go? All I really need is like a Vietnamese coffee and boom! Where do you want to go? We're gonna be like off of jet fuel for 30 minutes. And time is of the essence. I say that was a pretty nice, good, bold flavored tasty coffee. I wonder like what's the, I think like the earliest Panera opens is like 5:30 anyway. I can give you another cup. Let's have some nice light roast. Finally made it to this town. Oh. I've got to start taking more time out for myself, lots. Get me back, girl. All right, I need some air. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the likes. Hell yeah.